Well, the question is, what is the best definition for property? What is the first step of acquiring a property or land? Is investing in real estate a good investment or not? To answer those questions this morning, we are joined by property specialist and realtor Maria Namhindo. Very good morning, Ms. Namhindo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you this morning?
Good, good.
You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
How can we define property?
So basically, property is an immovable property, or let's say a permanent fixture or a vacant land. And properties or lands, we can categorize them into two. So you can either invest in a residential property or a commercial property.
All right.
Yes.
And what are some of the first steps of requiring a property or land?
Firstly, you need to know why you are investing and what are the benefits of your investment, because I mean you do want a return on your investments, isn't it, right? So once you have established that, you now then need to check your credit scores. This is basically just a gauge on your financial fit. The higher your credit score, the better your credit, and that's what financial institution wants to see. So once that is established, you then visit a financial institution. Those are the bank. We have the FNB, Bank Windhoek, Standard Bank, you name it. You visit them for pre-approval. Basically, this is a qualifying paper to say you are qualified for this certain amount. Now that you know your qualifying amount, you can then now talk to a real estate agency or a realtor, and Spark Plug Property is also here to help you navigate through that and also search and get you a buyer for your property. And once that is established, you then seal the deal.
So one basically has to have a high credit score in order for them to get a loan.
To get a better credit loan.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Is investing in real estate good or bad? Is that a good investment or bad investment?
It is a good thing, in my opinion, because you're getting a return on it. Depending whether your purpose of investing in that in that property or in that land, what are you using it for? Especially for a first buyer, you want to invest in a property that gives you return, either through rentals or so. So in my opinion also, I believe that it is actually a good thing to invest in property, and especially in times where the economy is a bit shaken, where like we can see inflation is high, the repo rate is high, because this gives you what? That durable, competitive in the long run. So when the economy recovers, you are able to recoup more on your returns.
All right.
Yes.
Now, can you perhaps just give us an insight on the variable rate as well as the fixed rate in terms of the repo rate and what effect it has when one is taking a loan with a bank?
Okay. Variable interest rate is basically a floating interest rate. It changes with interest rate with times, and that fixed interest rate is basically a constant rate. And one needs to know that the repo rate, that is the cost where our central bank, which is the Bank of Namibia, lends to our commercial bank, right? And that also has an effect on the prime rate, right? So the prime rate is that rate or that borrowing rate to us as individual. So if the repo rate is high, the prime rate will also increases, meaning that your repayment interest will also increase. So it's very important that when you get your qualifying amount, let's say, for example, you qualify for 1 million bond. You don't take out that 1 million, you at least buy a property that is 600, so that in terms of times like now, you are able to cater for that inflationary rate, that repo rate, yeah.
All right. Do I need to use an estate agent basically to tell me all this information that you just told me now?
Yes, because I mean, realtors are qualified property specialists, right? And they help you throughout your way from the beginning of you acquiring your pre-approval to the end of you purchasing that property. And not only to the buyer side, as a seller as well. If you need to sell your property, it's better they do the marketing for you. They ensure that customer care, that disclosure, that accountability. So they are there to represent you in all aspects of you selling that property or you finding sellers for your property.
All right.
Yes.
Can a life cover assist with home loan applications?
Yes. A life cover basically, the bank uses it as collateral in terms of death. So remember, like if you don't finance that property using cash, meaning you need to source other funds, and that is through borrowing that loan from the bank. And remember, that is not your money. That is the bank money. So the bank has the right over your property. So, and they also pledge that you give collateral. So you can use a life cover, but a life cover only covers in terms where you pass between the period of you taking out that loan and the end period of you paying it. So if you pass during that period, the life cover then has the right over, I mean the bank has the right over to that life cover to get the remaining amount so that they settle your bond. What is left is then now taken to your beneficiaries. Yes.
Ms. Namhindo, any final remarks before we let you go?
Yes. Property is a very good investment, especially if you're using it for returns. And through rental property, let's say your first property, but people have different objectives when they acquire property. But it's very important that your first property gives you that income, so you invest in more property, and this will also build your wealth.
Right. Thank you so much for educating as well as informing us on property. Hopefully we get to buy property in the near
Definitely,
future.
yeah.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right. Maria Namhindo joining us today. She is a property specialist as well as a realtor, talking to us about investing in property. And she did mention that it is a good investment.